Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday morning. It's Stephen Whiteside here from theuptrend.com. In the pre-market this morning, stock index futures are currently trading around fair value. We do not have any major economic numbers coming out this morning. And in the world of commodities, we've got crude oil slightly lower, while gold is slightly higher in the pre-market on Wednesday morning. Now, I always tell people to put their orders in a little below our price targets, and Apple hit a new high yesterday, and our price target was $237.50. We got as high as $237.49. So hopefully your order got filled up there, so congratulations. Now, looking at the fear index, we're still way out of sync with the market. You would think with the S&P 500 hitting new all-time highs, the VIX would be hitting new all-time lows. That is certainly not the case. You can see we peaked in early September just below the $25 level, so that's going to be a key area. You can see on the NASDAQ VIX, we peaked just above the $25 level in early September, and of course that's going to be a major milestone if we break out above that. The VIX for the Russell is still trending higher here, even though the Russell 2000 is not trending lower at the moment. And there's the VIX for the TSX. You can see we're stuck in a range for the past few weeks and looking for a breakout of that range, even though the TSX is, hitting new all-time highs right now. The VIX for the TSX is certainly not. So options traders are still spooked. We need to keep that in the back of our minds. Now, stocks usually fall faster than they rise, and yesterday we saw a big sell-off in the semiconductors being led lower by ASML. Then KLA was down sharply on the day. We saw a big loss for Lam Research, and then Applied Materials. Yeah, so those are the biggest losers on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ on Tuesday. Now, in all cases, of course, we had price targets on the way up, and you should have unloaded some shares while these stocks were rising. And in regard to Applied Materials, you had a chance to sell a half your position at 203.13. And if you're going to get rid of the rest at the open this morning, you'll still lock in a profit there. So it's still a profitable trade, even though it got crushed yesterday. Now, with semiconductors coming down, we've got a new sell signal for the bull ETF for semiconductors and a new buy signal for the bear ETF for semiconductors. Still waiting for the S&P 500 to roll over, and of course, when that happens, we'll be looking to buy the bear ETF, and that's also true for the NASDAQ once it rolls over and we're out of our long position in the bull ETF. We'll be going into the bear ETF on both sides of the border. Now, energy stocks got crushed yesterday, so the bull ETFs on both sides of the border are back on sell signals. We have a buy signal in the 3X bear ETF, but not in the 2X ETF trading on the TSX. Still waiting for a close above $4.03. Now, speaking of commodities, of course, crude oil continued to move lower yesterday, and that's what caused the big sell-off in the energy sector. We had several opportunities to lock in some profits at 75 and 78.13, so you should just have a small position left to liquidate at the open. Now, looking at the price of copper, it made a new low for this move yesterday, as did the copper miners stocks. Looking at the GLD, still on a buy signal here, moving higher in the pre-market this morning. And we've got the XGD and the GDX both on buy signals, both moving up on Tuesday. Now, even with all the volatility in the U.S. market and the collapse of the energy sector, the TSX ended the day with an inside day, or a day of indecision for both the TSX and the TSX 60. The TD Bank was the most actively traded Canadian stock yesterday. It continues to move lower. We saw a huge move down in Canadian natural resources. We took money off the table at 50. We were hoping for more. That didn't work out. So on Wednesday, we're looking for a close below $48.04. There's a new high for Enbridge on Tuesday, and a new high for the Royal Bank. We've had the Bank of Nova Scotia get back on a buy signal as of Tuesday's close. Baytex collapsed yesterday. It is back on a sell signal as of Tuesday's close, as is Cenovus. Then we had a new high for TC Energy on Tuesday and a new high for Power. What didn't work? Well, we've got Suncor coming right down. We need a close below 52.81. We closed at 52.78, so back on a sell signal as of Tuesday's close. Then we had a new high for Manulife on Tuesday, and ending the day just down 2 cents. Then looking at Shopify pulled back yesterday, still closing above the upper channel line. We need a close on Wednesday below $109.51. Let's finish off this morning's presentation looking at the U.S. most actives, starting with NVIDIA. NVIDIA traded down into the channel, closed at the upper channel line. So on Wednesday, we're looking for a close below $127.37. You've had 2 days to lock in profits up there at 137.50. We got as high as 138.57 yesterday. So no excuses. You should have been able to lock in some profits up there. Trump Media hit our next price target yesterday of 31.25. So congratulations. Then Walgreens continued to move higher on Tuesday. Big up day for that stock. Then SoFi made a new high for this move on Tuesday. No joy for Intel either way. So it looks like the market doesn't even think this is a semiconductor stock anymore. No downward pressure with the rest of the semis on Tuesday. Then NIO continued to move lower. No change in trend there. Now looking at Wolfspeed, it popped yesterday. So if you go back to last week, if you were a buyer, you were looking up at 1250, 1563. You put some orders in up there. We opened at 1504 yesterday and hit our next price target. So your 1250 order would have been filled at 1504, and then you would have had another order filled at 1563. So congratulations. Tesla still holding support here. Looking to see if we take out Monday's low. That would take us down to 203.13. Then we had a bearish reversal day for Bank of America on Tuesday, making a new high for this move. And then looking at Ford still on a buy signal. No change in trend there. And then last up, AMD came down hard yesterday. Back on a sell signal as of Tuesday's close. You had lots of time to lock in profits along the way. So if you have any shares left, you've just got a handful, and you can get rid of those at a profit on Wednesday morning. Okay, folks, that is all for today's presentation. So far, it looks like we're going to have a fairly quiet open on Wednesday morning. And if you come back on Thursday morning, we'll continue our series, 31 Stocks in 31 Days.